Hello G-fans, this is episode 2 of the return of Ultraman episode 2, A Alien Like No Other. Matt puts Zack through training. They teach him how to box and fly the MAT plane. Gabe tells Zack that most rookies almost come close to death when they're about to get on the plane. Alexa tells Zack that Gabe is just messing with you and that he's a little pissed because Gamora killed his parents. Zack asks Alexa on how'd she get here. Alexa says that MAT accepted her straight out of college. Alexa says that Red King was the first kaiju she killed. The MAT team tells Zack all the weapons on the MAT plane and they shoot dummies to practice. MAT shows Zack how to shoot the guns on the plane, then Zack rides his bike to school. On the way to school, Zack sees a homeless person. Zack's never seemed to care too much about homeless people, but then Zack sees a Wendy's. Zack's father tells Zack in his head that he's doing a good deed if he gets the homeless person food. Zack goes to Wendy's. A employee asks Zack if he's a little too young. Zack says, "Aren't you a little too old to be asking that?" Zack whips out a $40 bill and pays for the food and gives it to the homeless person. When Zack gets to school, the science teacher has a substitute. The substitute name is Mr. Nakajima. He's Japanese. Zack tells Mr. Nakajima on what to do and tells him on what homework they have. Zack's bully Nick calls Zack a teacher's pet. All of a sudden, Mr. Nakajima's eyes turn blue. One of the students asks to use the bathroom. Mr. Nakajima says no, but his voice seems deeper and he doesn't have the Asian accent anymore. Mr. Nakajima says sorry for raising his voice. Mr. Nakajima steps out of the class and it's revealed that Mr. Nakajima is alien Metron. His plan is to take the students to his plant and make their slaves. During gym time, Zack and Nick get into a fight because Zack got Nick out. Nick argues that it was a headshot. Zack used some of the bushing that MAT taught him. Zack and Nick get suspended and the principal calls Zack's mom. Zack's father says in Zack ahead that not what a true hero would do. When Zack gets home, his mom's sick. Zack says, "You didn't get the call." His mom says, "What call?" Zack says never mind. Zack asks to go down to the basement, but then Zack remembers that his mom always gives him a kiss when he gets home. In the basement, Zack finds a plush of Ultraman and a book about Ultraman and a toy of Gamora. The book about Ultraman is written by Zack's father, Glenn Giller. It says in the book that if you are Ultraman and you get badly hurt as him, it can affect your real body. And at the end of the book it says, "For my sweet boy Zack." Zack says, "Really?" Zack's father says in Zack's head that you're the only one who can do it. Zack says, "But I'm only 17, I have to graduate high school, and how come I can't leave the kaiju to MAT?" Zack's father says because MAT can't do it alone, they have to have a hero to save them. Zack hears screaming upstairs. Zack runs upstairs. He sees his mom tied up. Then alien Metron appears behind him. Zack tries to punch alien Metron, but Metron disappears. Zack unties his mom and checks for injuries on his mom. Alien Metron appears in a gas station. Everyone is sacred. Alien Metron kills 2 people by zapping them with alien Metron's laser hands. Then one guy begs for mercy. Then alien Metron zaps him out of existence. 3 of Matt's team is send out. Gabe, Dan, Miles and Alexa are send out stop alien Metron while Commander Carl and Anthony are tracking alien Metron's location. Alien Metron is in the woods. The team sees alien Metron. Dan scans alien Metron's body for weakness, but none are to be found. Dan says this alien kaiju is like no other. Dan says he has no weakness and no bio. Zack arrives to the MAT base. Commander Carl says to Zack that he was starting to get worried about you. Zack says that he knows about alien Metron and alien Metron can shapeshift. The police arrive to the woods. Gabe, Dan, Miles and Alexa hide behind a bush. The police pointed their guns at alien Metron. The police say, "Put your hands up." Alien Metron takes out a blue ball of energy. Miles says, "What the hell is that?" Alien Metron throws the blue ball on the ground and summons a kaiju. Alien Metron summons Vakashim. The police run away, but Vakashim steps on the Polico officers. Gabe reports that alien Metron summoned Vakashim. Zack hears is then Zack says, "I'm the only one who can do it." Commander Carl says, "Do what?" Zack takes the MAT plane. Anthony tries to stop Zack, but Zack already took off. Zack flies to the woods. Commander Carl says over the MAT plane radio that you're just a rookie. Commander Carl yells, "Come back, Zack." Zack says, "Don't worry, I can take care of Vakashim." Zack uses the ejector seat to get out of the MAT plane. Zack has a little trouble getting the parachute to work. Zack says in his head, "Maybe I should have listened." Zack lands on the ground. Zack points his 2 fingers to the sky and yells, "Ultraman Jack." Zack turns into Ultraman Jack. A big flash appears which temporarily blinds Vakishin. Gabe reports to Commander Carl that the Ultraman is back. Commander Carl says how could this be? Ultraman Jack tackles Vakishin to the ground. Ultraman Jack punches Vakishin 4 times in the face. Vakishin gets Ultraman Jack off of him and Vakishin shoots fire at Ultraman Jack, but Ultraman Jack blocks it with his Ultra Shield. Ultraman Jack runs at Vakishin, but Vakishin punches Ultraman Jack to the ground. Ultraman Jack gets up. Vakishin grabs Ultraman Jack and flips Ultraman Jack over. Ultraman Jack quickly gets up. Ultraman Jack uses the Ultra Rocket bullets on Vakishin. It really hurts Vakishin. Vakishin quickly retaliates by using a Buell beam from its horn. It hits Ultraman Jack and knocks out Ultraman Jack. Zack has a flashback to when his dad was Ultraman fighting Zeton and dying. Ultraman Jack color timer starts beeping. This gives Zack motivation to get up. Ultraman Jack gets up and runs at Vakishin. Ultraman Jack does the spinning Ultra kick. Vakishin hits the ground really hard. Ultraman Jack grabs Vakishin's left arm and breaks Vakishin's left arm. Vakishin does a supersonic roar. This makes Ultraman Jack back up. With Vakishin badly injured, Ultraman Jack pulls out the Ultra bracelet and the sword. Ultraman Jack combines the two. Ultraman Jack throws the Ultra sword at Vakishin. It cuts off Vakishin's head. The Ultra sword comes back to Ultraman Jack like a boomerang. With Ultraman Jack's color timer beeping rapidly, Ultraman Jack flies away. Alien Metron seeing what happened, Alien Metron gets mad and returns to his plant. The next day, Zack sees on TV a news report on Ultraman Jack saying that Ultraman Jack the new hero of our era. Zack smiles and says, well, I'm just taking up my father's place.